All right, welcome back, COSA 50 and 650 folks. Professor Almeida here. Happy Wednesday evening. I'm putting this video out now because my Thursday morning schedule is just going to be packed. But don't worry, I will be in the Canvas course chat tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. until noon Pacific time as usual. I will be in some meetings and I will have my chat tabs open. You can also message me in the Canvas inbox and I'll do my best to respond to you. Outside of my student office hours, I do ask that you allow 24 to 36 hours for me to get back to you. Coming up, I want to talk to you about the game plan for weeks 11 and 12, which covers Microsoft Access. And before I get into weeks 11 and 12, I do have some housekeeping items, and I want to start with today's edition of why you don't want to wait until the last minute to do things. So 2 Mondays ago, Amazon Web Services went down, which took Canvas with it. And right now, Microsoft 365 is unavailable. If you try to go to office.com, this is what you get. So if you forgot to install Microsoft 365, or if you don't have access to Access, you will need to wait for this to come back online. In the meantime, you can watch this video on how to install Microsoft 365 on your system. Now, because Access is only available for Windows, you do need to have access to a Windows PC. If you don't have a Windows PC at home, it is crucial that you are showing up to class and, if needed, using the COS computer labs. So with that, I do have this reminder. Hopefully you've all seen it by now. Your Excel assignments are due this Sunday, November 2nd. As I've mentioned before, due dates are not due dates. Since we're well into the back half of the course, point opportunities are going to be getting fewer. You cannot afford to leave easy points on the table. I've messaged a number of you through the Canvas inbox. If you haven't started on your training sim for Excel Chapter 1, chances are if you haven't done your training sim for Chapter 1, you're probably behind on your other assignments as well. So make sure you get the work turned in by Sunday. Don't wait until it's too late when you can't get support, or even worse, services end up going down. I don't excuse due dates because of technical issues. You've had ample time in and outside of class. Hopefully you've been showing up to class because that's where your success begins. And by showing up to class, you and I both know that you're getting the work done. All right, so with that, let's talk about the game plan for Microsoft Access. Again, once Microsoft 365 is back online and you don't have Access installed, make sure you do that going into the weekend. All right, here we are in the module. So starting Monday, November 3rd, your 2 Access modules will open, and it's pretty much the usual. Monday the 3rd or Tuesday the 4th, depending on your section, we will go over Access Chapter 1. And then for our second class meeting on Wednesday or Thursday, we will go over Access Chapter 2. And then the following week, it's pretty much the same deal, right? You have Access Chapter 3, and then you'll have your exam day. It is crucial that you show up on time because, as you are going to see, you can't really undo things in Microsoft Access. And I say this because I noticed that in class, some folks were asking me to repeat steps in Excel, maybe going 1 or 2 steps back. It's going to be a lot tougher to do with Access. So if you're missing things as I'm showing them to you, take some notes, go back and watch the walkthrough videos, but make sure that you're not missing what I'm showing you because it's going to be very difficult for me to repeat certain things. And then as you'll see with chapters 2 and 3, it's going to take some time to get through those projects. So again, very important that you show up to class on time. If you're coming in 15 to 20 minutes late, you might as well just watch the walkthrough video because it's going to be very tough to follow what I'm doing. Okay. And like I said, with Access, it's tough to undo things and you can't afford to make mistakes, especially with typos. Speaking of typos, real quick with your Excel projects, since we're still in Microsoft Excel, make sure that you double check what you're typing, especially if you're being asked to rename worksheets, because if you don't rename the worksheets correctly, don't be surprised if you end up earning a 0 on the project, because the grading engine is going to expect a certain worksheet that, isn't there if you mistype or you forget to do the step. Now, once we are done with Access, there will only be 4 projects remaining. Your capstones for Excel and Access. So for weeks 13 and 14, we'll go back to Excel. I'll give you more details a little bit later. And then for weeks 15 and 16, we'll revisit Access again for the capstones and Moss Prep with Gmetrics. I've updated the Access code to Gmetrics. So whenever you get a chance, go to gmetrics.net. Create a free account and then redeem the access code. When we get to weeks 13 and 14, I'll give you more details, especially for my Tuesday, Thursday folks. And with that, enjoy the rest of your week. Let's make sure that we're getting things turned in. I'll see you all next Monday or Tuesday. Take care.